I'm Beinn Irbhinn, and I am the voice of the Scottish Socialist Party in Inverclyde. Anyone who has been following the local activity on the referendum campaign will have noticed some intruders to our towns during the last couple of weeks. I'm of course talking about George the Catman Galloway and some activists from a London party. They have been here to tell us to vote no. I want to tell you why they're wrong. The Scottish Socialist Party is proud to be a part of this independence movement. We were founding members of the Yes campaign, as well as founding members of the Radical Independence campaign. According to some, however, we're acting against the spirit of socialism. This view is based on an old argument that socialists should be building class unity, not putting up national borders. After all, in the Communist Manifesto, Marx said, "Workers of the world unite." This is an old and archaic understanding of socialism and class unity. The insinuation being that by supporting a yes vote, we are betraying socialist ideals and are merely another group of nationalists. Nothing could be further from the truth. To begin with, voting yes doesn't make you a nationalist. It makes you a democrat. It means you believe in Scotland's right to get the government we vote for every time. At Westminster, there are over 1,600 politicians. House of Commons, House of Lords, 1,600 politicians. From Scotland, we elect 59. 59 out of 1,600. How much influence do you think we really have at Westminster? According to the likes of George the Catman Galloway, any socialists who vote yes are somehow guilty of helping to divide the working class. But this is demonstrably wrong. As a party, we believe in international socialism. We believe in socialism across national borders. For us, building class unity doesn't require that we all be subservient to the same government or live within the same borders. Lenin said, "Workers of all countries unite." He didn't say, "All workers unite in one country." The Scottish Socialist Party already has strong links with workers' groups across the world. For example, we have strong links with groups in England, with groups in Venezuela, with groups in Cuba. The local branch of the SSP has even organised for workers' groups from Russia to visit Inverclyde, as well as our own local SSP people visiting Russia. Just imagine the influence an independent socialist Scotland could have. Far from betraying the working class, we can open the door to a socialist Scotland, a Scotland that would act as a beacon to the working class of the rest of these islands and beyond. Down south, the English are fed the lie by their politicians and by their media that in Scotland we get free education and we get free prescriptions and we get all our other benefits because the English taxpayer subsidises us. That's what they're told by their politicians in their media, by their BBC. But let's ask ourselves, can we really trust the BBC? This is the BBC that raises over £300 million in licence fee payments every year in Scotland, but only spends £89 million here. That's a BBC that has got a huge financial hole to fill if we vote for independence. So let's ask ourselves, do we really trust them to be neutral and to tell the truth while reporting on the independence campaign? When we no longer require London's permission to spend our own money, the people of England will begin to look to us and our better quality of life, and they'll begin to demand the same for themselves. When that happens, their politicians and their medias will no longer be able to feed them that lie that they've been feeding them for so long. In other words, independence ushers in an opportunity for change all across Britain that life in the Union is simply unable to offer. Scottish independence could actually be the best thing to happen to the people in England. It would at very least force questions to be asked of the government down there that simply aren't being asked. It could pull their political landscape back to the left and away from extremes like UKIP and Toryism. So why can't we make these changes in the Union? Well, if we look at the three main parties at Westminster, they are basically identical. They all share the same neoliberal approach to politics. Neoliberalism means to privatise everything. It is a greed is good ideology. It is an ideology which Thatcher started and which lives on in the Tories, in New Labour and in the Lib Dems. And if that wasn't bad enough, we can now add into the mix the casual racism of UKIP. So it literally doesn't matter who wins at Westminster, we get the same politics anyway. We get the politics of privatisation and we get the politics of austerity. In fact, the only difference between the parties at Westminster is the speed at which they will implement these politics. The only difference between Labour and the Tories is that Labour will implement austerity slightly slower. This isn't scaremongering. We know this is what they will do because this is what they said they will do. Miliband has made it clear what direction he is taking Labour in. He's taking them in the same direction as the Tories. An independent Scotland could go in a different direction. An independent Scotland could be an example to the people of the rest of the UK. We will show them a genuine alternative to this neoliberal hegemony in London. And as the people in England start to demand this alternative way of doing politics, it will lead to the rise of a genuine socialist alternative there also. So Scottish independence is for the good of the English working class as well, not just for the good of the Scottish working class. But of course, as important as international working class unity is, and it is important, we are fighting for a yes vote to improve the conditions of the working class here in Scotland. By conditions I mean economically, I mean politically, I mean culturally. It would be impossible in such a short broadcast to explain everything fully. But after a yes vote in future broadcasts we can return to these ideas. But let me give you a few examples for just now. One thing we can do is overturn Thatcher's anti-union laws. Anti-union laws which, despite 13 years in power, Labour failed to alter. Anti-union laws which are the severest in Europe and which are set to get worse. As a matter of urgency, we need to criminalise the abomination which is 0-hour contracts, which trap people in poverty and in uncertainty and benefit no one but heartless employers. In the United Kingdom, the working class is struggling to make ends meet. In the United Kingdom, women are still paid less than men. In the United Kingdom, we're to believe that we're better together. Better for who exactly? Independence offers us an opportunity to introduce a fair living wage. The Scottish Socialist Party has been campaigning for a minimum wage of £9 per hour for everyone. And lately the Green Party in England have followed our lead by demanding a similar rate for English workers. That's a good example of how Scottish independence will be beneficial for the English working class. With a written constitution, we will be able to protect the NHS forever by enshrining it and our right to it within that constitution. Under devolution, even the vague devolution plus currently being offered by Westminster, we simply can't protect the NHS. Only independence can, because only independence gives us the power to write a constitution with all the guarantees it brings. As I speak, 1 in 4 Scottish children are living in poverty. As I speak, 1 in 3 children in Inverclyde are living in poverty. There is a food bank in West Blackhall Street. Can we change this? It's not part of being Scottish to live in poverty. It's not in our culture to be poor. That is the effect of the Union. We can change it, but only if we here in Scotland have the power to change it. We can change it, but only through independence. Here in Inverclyde, you'll find the Scottish Socialist Party campaigning on the streets. It would help you, as well as us, if you stopped and signed our petitions. This is not an empty gesture. With lots of signatures, these work. If you're interested in helping to change Scotland for the better, get in touch with me either through inverclyderadio.com or on the party website, scottishsocialistparty.org. But most importantly, vote yes on the 18th. Only through independence can we protect ourselves from the excesses of London and its elite. Only through independence can we protect ourselves from the rampant privatisation of our resources and provide us with a true democracy. A no vote will give the London elite, who are totally disconnected from our country and our people, the go-ahead to do whatever they want with Scotland. They will privatise the NHS. They will privatise everything. They will take everything we built and they will make it theirs. Everything in our country will be owned and controlled by people with no connection to our culture, by people who have never and will never have our interests at heart, people who don't care about our well-being or even survival, people who just want to turn a profit by exploiting our people, our industry and our resources. A yes vote can protect us from all that. The polls are close. The key will be the working class, who we believe are overwhelmingly going to vote yes. So spread the word, engage others in this debate and encourage them to vote yes. I've been Beinn Irbhinn. Until next time, power and peace for the people.